time when there were no stories on the earth to come. Hi.
My motto for this trip has been, that which does not kill you only makes you stronger.
So one thing I would like for you all to take away is how community could take charge of their own natural environment.
They call it the village drum from Sawa.
Ram Singh Sharma, the village drum from Sawa. He have a wife and he day with the sister. They buy a visa to take him to Canada. One give him house, one give him a motor car. They give him money to drink rum. Sometimes he just gamble until the money done. Ram Singh Sharma, the village drum from Sawa. He have a wife and he day with the sister. Ram Singh Sharma, the village drum from Sawa.
Ram Singh, oh boy, the village ram. He in a jam, brutally outside woman. Ram Singh, that is the name. Sweet man is the game.
Understand more about your life. Yet you get money too, but that's not as important. Wait. Money is not as important as the other things like knowledge and wisdom, because if you don't have knowledge, if you don't have wisdom, if you don't have understanding, then you get your money and what do you want to do with it? You want to give it away. You want to throw it away. You're not going to spend it wisely. a lot of work, a lot of effort, ongoing work, ongoing monitoring and patrolling and educating and, you know, and suppressing and all the stuff in the package. So there's always a need as an NGO to prepare yourself.
When I'm feeling overwhelmed by the negativity of the world, I remind myself and I do research on the many, many communities around the world, the many, many NGOs that are trying to protect the environment, or work to end poverty, or work to end violence, or work to generate equality, you know, among peoples for all the reasons that people have been subject to inequality.
It's just amazing to see like everything that Akila has done and like her family and everything, everyone here in the community. Like it's just amazing to think how like she built all of this pretty much.
It's really important to see a sense of community here. People coming together and working together. Just about being like so self-reliant and just having like just the epitome of just only being able to rely on yourself and like your immediate family and like everything is your responsibility. And even with little things like, you know, like the water thing, like she was saying, just the responsibility, like such an intense amount of responsibility that everyone is just so able to have is like really inspiring.
To live kind of like below your means here has really like humbled me and realized like how privileged I am at home, you know, and how I don't know, I felt more human being here. Like I felt like I was just more kind of like authentic and like I was getting to like, you know, like the roots of me as a human. So
like I think a lot of people kind of forget how important like soil is. If you think about it, if we could just like improve the soil content here and just even the amount of soil.
So I guess for me, like the guy app is the biggest thing, and like seeing the kids and like seeing how like impressionable they are in this sort of environment and seeing like how well they take to like building a community and like being part of like what you guys have here.
My biggest thing was the people. So just everyone in this community is so open, and so like you're walking on the street, everyone's like, hey, how are you? Enjoy our country, like enjoy Trinidad, hope you have a great time. And just everyone's so like willing to talk to you and willing to like just open arms, and especially like this community here, Akila and your family, like it's just been amazing to feel so welcome, and just our group as well, like we really clicked, and like just having you all here and like not knowing most of you and just like sharing this experience with you, and like, you know, at night I've said this, like my favorite thing is just us all hanging out and like talking, and I don't know, it's just like so the people I will always remember all of you.
Like people keep talking about community, but I think that was the most important thing to me too, is like seeing how a community was able to come together and build this incredible project. And it's like so special to me because I don't feel that back home. Like I don't know my neighbors, you know, everyone kind of like lives in their own bubble, and like to see that it's possible to do this is like really empowering to me and kind of like gives me hope for the future. So like, you know, if shit gets down and we need to do stuff, like people are still able to come together and like fix things. And I think that's why this community is so applicable to like the rest of the world, that like people can come here and see that it's possible and take that away with them.
Being here helped me realize that like I think Nicole said, just the privilege that I have back home, where I can just, I know I always have running water to go inside and cool down with a shower or wash my hands or go inside and sit in the AC, and so yeah, this week has been extremely eye-opening and an awesome experience.
Being at home, I usually don't see people practicing what they preach at all, like at home.
Yes,
it's like,
I was just thinking.
Yeah, like you don't see a lot of people going out of their way to like help a forest, plant trees, stuff like that. And then you come here and you guys' lives are dedicated to that. Like that's just incredible to me. Like I can't even wrap my head around it because I don't even have it at home, you know what I mean? So it just gives me faith that because I was here and could experience this, I could bring it back home, and maybe I could touch someone that can start doing that at home. So thank you guys so much for doing that.
Yeah.
And there's a perception in American culture that Latin and Caribbean countries are untouched and they're not modernized, and that everybody's still living in such of like
people live in trees.
Exactly, like they have this perception that they're not as kept up as America is, and it's nothing like that. When you come here, they have their own culture of doing things, and it's not just that America might be tidy and neat and everything. It's the same way here, but in a different remixed version of it.
So something that I really noticed in this was the power of kinship. And so as an anthropologist, I really noticed how the interactions and roles within kinship members and the importance of like a strong mother figure and how you influence and have raised your children to be individuals and inspire them to be their own person but also know where their roots are. And I think that's something that really impacted me, and really interested in women's studies, and so just the mother-daughter relationship and how you have like the division of labor between the sons and the daughters. I really enjoyed that. And
I'm trying to look at this as like a social worker as best as I could, and I looked at it from like a cultural standpoint and trying to be as culturally competent as I possibly could be, and I try to do as much research on the culture before coming here, so I wasn't completely surprised by everything and taken off guard. And it's nothing. It doesn't do it justice reading on the internet or any type of vignette or anything like that than actually experiencing it. Anywhere from just the social interactions to the food, to the music, to the way that people dance. Everything is just so inclusive in that culture, and it's brought out in that way.
Carla was saying back at home, like it's all about like us being like individual. Here, like taught me like how to like as a social work leader to like work together as a team and things like that, which is gonna be like a big help like to me.
For me, the education and empowerment was a big thing, and how, for example, whenever there's a fire, you see like both men and women come together, not just because most of the time when you go to a place, either like you see all the men together doing something, or all the women in one place doing something like women. And also the education part, how like not only they educate people here in this community, but also outside. Because I think like Miss Akila was saying how she goes to other countries and help other communities, like about forest fires and prevention, and also us like preparing like their house for us to come and learn about like what they are doing there, what they are doing, so they are not only educating people here but also beyond.
Right, there are literally millions of small non-governmental organizations around the world, and now you have a flavor of what it takes to live and affect change and to have that kind of commitment in your life. But it's also really important to know that there are points of light like this all over the globe, and we talk about this a lot. That's one of the sources of inspiration and hope for the future. Right? So go home and do some research on the organizations that are doing, and I can help you with that.